Hi, this is Michael Uslan. You're listening to Batman on Film.
The Adventures of Batman.
Welcoming you to the new adventures of Batman.
Welcome to Batmanimation, a Batman on Film podcast, batman-on-film.com. And here's my PSA. Don't forget the dashes like Pete Vera. It leads to shenanigans and things you don't want to deal with. So don't forget the dashes. All right. This is Batmanimation, episode number 73. Joining me today again for this edition of our trip through the animated adventures of Batman is senior BOF contributor Ryan Haas. Ryan?
Yo. Hello.
How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing well. It's a nice, ridiculously sunny day, warm day here in North Carolina. We got to talk about the weather here on Batman on Film. I'm enjoying it while it lasts. You know, it's been snowing in East Tennessee. My parents have been sending me snow videos, and I'm just enjoying the nice weather ahead of Thanksgiving, because I will be traveling to that state for Thanksgiving. So
we had a cold front come through, so it was in I guess in the 40s this morning, and I think it's supposed to get colder during the week. So here we go, Thanksgiving week. As I mentioned, this is Batmanimation, episode 73, where we are taking a deep dive into season 1 of the new. No, we're not going back to revisit previous animated series. We get another animated series. We had Caped Crusader. We'll be getting season 2 of that. Now we have another one. Have we had 2 concurrent solo Batman animated series existing at the same time, basically, before?
At the exact same time?
I know there was like Super Friends was happening at the same time as that New Adventures of Batman, like in 77,
Right. Well, we had like Justice League Action.
Yeah.
That's kind of Justice League. I don't know if that really counts. Normally there is a break, even if it's short.
Yeah.
Like we have Teen Titans Go at the same time as this, but that's also a tangent.
Yeah. I'm not like Justice League or, Teen Titans or anything, or Justice League, whatever, Super Friends, something like solo Batman. I don't think we've had 2. Now, Caped Crusader is still happening. It's just not here right now.
Actively airing.
Season 2, but still it's in its airing period, if you will.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's kind of cool to have that. A lot of Batman stuff. There's a lot of good Batman stuff. We got the Batman Part 2 coming. We had the Penguin. We had Batfan. We have Caped Crusader. We're getting Caped Crusader season 2, the Penguin
next year.
And then that I'm looking forward to that game. Lego Batman was
that's going to be
the Batman,
Legacy of the Dark Knight game.
Yeah, Legacy of the Dark Knight.
Yeah, that's going to be huge. The last big Lego game that studio made was the Lego Skywalker Saga, Star Wars, and it was one of the biggest games of the year that year, like in terms of sales and exposure.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling that this Lego Batman game next year will be pretty huge.
I think it's going to be, it's appealing to me because it looks like it really leans heavily into Batman history.
Yeah, like everything that the Lego Batman movie did for the movie, I think the game will do. And it's not the first Lego Batman game we've had. Obviously, it'll be like the 4th, 5th one or whatever. But like, we haven't had one in a while, and it's a good time to do it now that we've got all these different cinematic. And that's the different thing in this one, is that you can actually, this is the first one where they'll be doing cinematic interpretations. In the game.
Yes. Yeah. So it's I lost my train of thought there for a second. It's Oh yeah, I know what it was. It didn't they take a look like a page from the Arkham games a little bit as far as
Yeah, for the combat.
the combat. Yeah, yeah. Like yeah,
Hmm.
okay.
And the open world Gotham City and stuff. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool.
We're gonna get another Arkham game ever.
I think it's inevitable. After the failure of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, and then the constant restructuring of the WB Game Studios. Even though all that stuff's happened, Rocksteady is still around. So they have been, retained while studios like Monolith that were working on the Wonder Woman game, that game and studio both got shut down,
Mm-hmm.
sadly. But Rocksteady's still around, and yeah, so I think they are going, and I think this has been in like WB earnings calls and stuff. The WB is going to double down on their tried and true things, like no more experiments like Suicide Squad or whatever. They're going to stick to Game of Thrones, Batman, Harry Potter. They had the Hogwarts Legacy that was really huge. That's one of the reasons they said that they canceled the Wonder Woman game. So the Arkham series is a proven thing. So even though we very sadly don't no longer have Kevin Conroy, we do have
Yeah,
like Roger Craig Smith doing
yeah,
the younger version, and that's who did the voice in the Arkham Shadow VR. So yeah, I think we will be getting more Arkham eventually, but games do
eventually.
take
Okay.
a long time to make. So
Yeah,
I feel like it's more likely that we get another Batman VR game before we see like a full console Arkham revival, or
okay.
maybe some additional um, remasters of previous games. Like we still
Yeah,
have yet to have a good Arkham Origins
yeah.
re-release, so
Come
that could,
on,
that could
let's
happen.
go with that. Yeah, I like that. Was a good game.
That was
It's a
an
good game.
amazing game,
Yeah, it was a
perfect
good
Christmas
game.
game.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, bring it on. Let's get another Batman. We got that, but we got the
Did you
Lego
get
one
your
coming.
PS5?
Oh
Did you
yeah,
get a PS5 yet?
yeah.
Okay.
I got one. I had it for over a year now. I think. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I went back and I've been playing some of the Arkham games at various
Yeah.
times and um whatever. So yeah, I'm ready to go if they ever drop one. I'm gonna get that damn Lego Batman game
Yeah.
that's we just mentioned for sure. All right,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
let's go. We're gonna go back here, get into Batman animation. And that does remind me, I like to do Batman in games podcasts,
Yeah.
going back
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
revisiting some of these old
Yeah.
Batman games. I mean, like the '89 game, from
Yeah.
the Returns game,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
There's so
So
many.
that would
You've
be
seen my
fun.
shelf. I've got
Yeah,
I've got the
yeah.
crazy shelf with like all the games in order. It's pretty awesome. Yeah.
I remember that Returns game, how hard it was to beat the Penguin on that on that
On
helicopter
the helicopter
umbrella.
umbrella.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
In every
yeah,
version he's pretty hard.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. All right, Bat Fam, season 1, episode 2, Bat Trip. And again, we have this. It's kind of I'm watching this in real time as we go through these episodes. So I watch it, I let it die, let it digest for a bit, then I revisit it before I record the episode. And so this one was kind of it took me a little longer to like immediately warm up to what was going on in this episode compared to the first one. And
Yeah.
then when it did, I really enjoyed it. And then also
Yeah.
we got the I don't know if it's a lesson or the moral to the story or whatever it is. There's kind of
Yeah.
like two of them. This one is kind of like, don't be a clingy dad or letting your children grow up, whatever, which I can get, I understand. And then the other one is,
Yeah.
don't try too hard,
Yeah.
don't try
Yeah.
too
Yeah. Yeah.
hard.
From the B story. Yeah.
So, um, this one starts off, with Claire and Alicia moving around through Wayne Manor, hearing voices and scary laughter coming from the somewhere in the manor, and we were introduced also to Deputy Bow Wow and Bruce
best
Wayne
new
in
Batman
pajamas. So
character.
what was your thoughts on how this thing opened up?
Yeah, like this is another one I saw in the theater. I saw the first 3 episodes in the theater,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
this one, rewatching it again at home today just was great. But it reminded me like this was really fun to see in the theater with like the
Yeah.
darkened
I
theater
bet.
and the sound and stuff. So like you start it and you hear the weird sounds, and then the first thing I think of is like, oh, has to be Damien like doing Batman practice fighting or something. But
Yeah.
then to find out that it's Bruce in the attic
Yeah.
doing something very goofy was interesting. But it again, like we talked a little off mic before this about like how Batman is malleable as long as he retains his core. And I think that is very valid for this interpretation of Bruce Wayne in
Yeah.
Batman completely, because it's Bruce Wayne. He's up at night. That's it, like he's Batman in his mind at all the times. So
Yeah.
like of course he's like doing stuff at nighttime, but instead of like, fighting criminals, he's thinking about like how do I be like a better dad like at
Yeah.
night, and seeing
Yeah.
how that plays out in the real world. Clearly the other people just aren't really like vibing with once Alicia kind of sees what they're doing.
So the setup is the main storyline is Damien is going on a school field trip, and Bruce he missed the deadline to become a chaperone, and he's got major issues. He's freaked out. He's got OCD that he's not going on this field trip. And then the other little subplot, it's Alicia. Alicia is trying too hard, I guess, trying really hard to be friends with Claire
Selena.
and get Selena the cat to like her.
Yeah.
That's like the little subplot throughout that. Do you like the two different storylines going on?
Yeah. So by this time,
time?
whenever you see like you can't really judge a show or a series on the first episode because it's the
Yeah.
pilot, because it kind of lays out the season. It's always going to have a different feel than the rest of the season. Well, at least like the first and last episodes. So this is the first episode where we really get a sense of like what could be kind of the formula of the series if one exists. And I did start to really kind of like that, like, oh, so we can have like a fun B story. And so I really enjoyed getting the start on this one, just to kind of, because it's an opportunity for these characters to kind of establish themselves and have their own thing happen and get you as a viewer to kind of invest in them while the more A-list characters are doing the A story.
Yeah. So we get I guess the B-list characters. We get this subplot with Claire and Alicia. Although Dr. Langstrom and Ra's al Ghul do make cameos in this, I guess, if you want to call it that. They do show up briefly. So Damien is going on a field trip to Star Labs. So we're throwing in a lot of DC lore here.
At
that point, okay. Star Lab, a lot of DC universe mentions in lore and winks and nods and whatever.
I'm curious, like if it's like, oh no, is it going to get Bill off the rails? Like, it's like too much non-Batman in this.
Like I say, I can compartmentalize. Compartmentalize what I'm watching and what it is. If it was something live action, I kind of go like, but I get what we're doing here. I mean, okay, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I was fine with it. And it was still very much of a Batman. It was Batman story, Batman doing Batman things, and Damien doing, We meet Judy and Trudy Dent, who are Harvey Dent / Two-Face's twin girls, and it's literally good twin, bad twin, playing off the split personality of Harvey as Two-Face. and they mention him. We see a brief picture of him, and they mention he's reformed, whatever.
Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts on the Dent twins?
The Dent twins,
I should say. Yes, the Dent
Yeah,
twins.
yeah. Like this is the first kind of like it's another reminder of, oh, we are in like a post-villain like timeline for Batman. And so it's not just for Batman, but it's an opportunity for us to see like what could have happened to some of these villains too. And the fact that they were able to kind of they're going to like let Two-Face be reformed so that you can have some extra kid level interactions for Damian, I think is really interesting and cool and smart thing to do. Because what I didn't want the show to be was just Damian Little Batman fighting the normal Batman villains, because we already got that like in Merry Little Batman. And that gives this show an opportunity to kind of do something fresh and new and kind of have peers on Damian's level, so you can see like where Damian's at versus like maybe villains kids, or other people on Damian's level.
Yeah. I thought it was a clever little take on the Harvey Dent thing, like, if you will, using him having twins. I mean, that's you would expect, it's very kind of Two-Face cliche, if you want to call it that, when it comes to that character. And so we find out that Damian is in cahoots with Judy and Trudy Dent. They plan on ditching their chaperone and partaking in some shenanigans once they get to Star Labs. Damian has a specific goal for this. We don't know what it is until later. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And the girls are just
and the girls have a goal too.
Yeah, they have a goal as
ultimately.
Well. Yeah. And so I believe it's Miss Kelly Chin who is their chaperone, and she also happens to work for Wayne Enterprises.
Yes.
Which is important at one point coming up here. And which is coming up now. She just so happens to win an all expense paid vacation out of the blue, right in the middle of this her stint as this chaperone on a field trip from Wayne Enterprises. And Bruce just so happens to show up at that exact time to replace her as the chaperone. I thought that was that bit was pretty funny, I thought.
Yeah, I loved the when you see the view of her phone and it just has like Bruce Wayne's like little screensaver face and you want an all expenses paid trip.
Yeah. And it was like, what's the odds of that happening? Winning a trip to Wayne Enterprise,
Yeah. And then the Damian just gives him the side eye.
Yeah. Yeah. So then we go back to the subplot. So here it is. We got this you have this field trip going on, and there's like another a subplot of these shenanigans of these teachers that are involved with the field trip, right?
Yeah, the other
is one of them. Yeah. And they play up on the trope, the cliche of kids being naughty, and they're on the bus, stuff is being thrown around. It's just that kind of stuff. And it's like the kids overrunning these teachers or whatever.
Yeah, there was a funny line in there when they're in the at Star Labs about when Sing's just like, oh no, you can't show weakness or they'll just run us over or whatever. It made me think so in your career as an educator, did you ever have to encounter this or be a chaperone in a field trip where you're like, oh, I have to you have to have a hard exterior so the kids
I'll tell you this, there were no shenanigans in my classroom or when I was coaching, but I did go on a field trip once. Last field trip I went on, and we took a group of 8th graders to the Houston Museum of Science to see the Titanic thing they had going on there. And they behaved poorly enough to where we were invited to leave the museum.
Ooh.
Yeah. Ooh. So needless to say, Coach Ramey was not happy, and never went on another field trip again. And so that's a little side story here. So we've got kind of that subplot with the team. So that's kind of, it's funny. Then we got this, Bruce being like the Damien and the twins had this plan worked out how they were going to ditch the chaperones. Now with Bruce there, of course, he's Batman. It's going to be a lot harder, to do that. And just talk about, I guess, you thought about, the different things they tried to ditch, and then Bruce was always there to thwart it, without him really knowing what was going on, but he still was able to do it. So
yeah, I love that whole montage because it is that like little Batman and Batman, like Damien and Bruce, like kind of trying to go at each other without them really realizing without Bruce realizing what's happening, and he's just in such an automatic Batman dad mode that that his Batman training comes out. Like the part that just made me literally just laugh out loud was when his hands get caught like in the little cuffs, and he like just breaks his hands so he can pull his hands out, and they're like little jelly hands, and he has to, he's like, oh, that was cool. I remember how to do that. That was like the best part of that.
Yeah, it was funny. So then we get the little, the subplot again. Alicia's still trying to be friends with Claire, and then we get the well, Claire kind of teaches her, Claire teaches Alicia a lesson of like, basically, as I mentioned earlier, don't try too hard, and sometimes people show how much they like you by insulting you and do it, and things like that. They're like really terms of endearment or whatever. So Selena the cat, she's still she's not too sure about Alicia yet. So off we go. And then we find out, or we see that during lunch at Star Labs, to take a break for lunch, the plan is now they're going to start a food fight, and that will distract Bruce, and they'll be able to get away, which they were successful. And that leads to the I guess you want to call it the finale, or of this part, them getting away. The twins and Damien get away. They get a mother box gets involved, and there's parademons, so,
and it's like going into
explain all that.
Well, like you get to the point of like what they're trying to even do is like if get into like the maximum security, like it's almost like when you're in the Batcave and see all the trophies, like they get to go through like the security thing, and you get to see like,
well, they mentioned Harley's Bane's mallet, venom. It smells like
Bane's venom, and what it smells, and nobody like talks about what it smells like. Which it's funny because this is a show where you can bring those kinds of things up. Because they don't easily come up in more typical forms of superhero media. So it's kind of a fun thing. So we do find out like, they run into the mother box, but you also kind of find out like what they're all after, of course.
Yes, and
you see what Damien's trying to get.
Would you say that they have, even though they are, breaking away from the group and going somewhere where they probably shouldn't be, they have like a noble, each, like
an
the
altruistic,
twins and Damien have a kind of a noble, sweet in a sweet way of a goal. Each has their own little goal,
and because their parents are these kinds of legendary figures in the universe. Like this is kind of one of their only opportunities to kind of get things to be closer to them, or kind of in a way prove to their parents that they can like succeed their legacy in some way.
And with the twins, it's their dad's lucky coin. the two-faced coin.
Yeah.
And then with Damian, it's what was it? His lucky batarang, Bruce's
Yeah,
lucky
it's the
batarang.
battering, which is cool.
Yeah.
We got to see like a flashback of this Batman using the
Yeah.
lucky battering and like what it can do, and then you get to see
Yeah.
Batman in his prime without the beard, and
Yeah.
you know he just throws the battering once and it knocks all the villains out, and it gets a winning lottery ticket in the same throw.
Winning lottery ticket, yes. So that and the Deputy Bow Wow, the stuffed animal that talks, the talking stuffed animal that Damian, is kind of like his, his comfort thing. He's involved in this as well, So there was a reason to introduce Deputy Bow Wow at the beginning of the episode. So then we get into, about Bruce being too clingy. You got Batman and little Batman just out of, here they are, just happen to be there. And they, take on, and they got all these, there's this interdimensional invasion that's caused by the mother boxes. The parademons come in. The parademons, I got to say, I like this version of parademons way better than the ones we got in Justice League. I actually enjoy these parademons. What was your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, they're fun because
the butt dial bit,
the butt
and all
dial.
that. Yeah,
because I wondered like, are we actually going to see Darkseid in this? That would be kind of huge on like episode 2 to do something like that. But it's cool that they did, they were able to bring the parademons in, and they were just big and annoying and scary, but they don't understand, Earth. So Damian's having to think on the fly. And this is kind of something that happened in the previous episode, in the first episode, where Damian's trying to talk to, Skeletata and tell it, so it's a kind of a similar thing. So having to explain like, oh no, it's a butt dial, and they don't understand it, but they kind of go along with it. I thought it was pretty fun.
It was fun. They say funny things, and the butt dial thing is funny, and you have to see it to really enjoy it. But it was good.
And then and Damian like knows enough about Darkseid and Apocalypse to kind of work his way through that too, which I thought was kind of interesting. He's like, oh, you don't have butt dials on Apocalypse? So it's like he knows a little bit about it. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
The writers and the showrunners are well versed in not only Batman lore but DC lore as well.
Exactly.
To be able to work that in properly. So we get Batman. Batman shows up, of course. So does little Batman, and Batman actually uses his lucky batarang to essentially shut down the mother box and
the mother box. Yeah.
And
and you get the
interdimensional invasion. Yeah.
Yeah, and you get another little montage of all the things the lucky batarang does, and I love the extra little thing that they threw in there of his chin in the airplane, and you see the batarang like hit the airplane window.
Yeah.
It was a fun callback.
It was good. And so all's well that ends well, there's some resolution with, Bruce and Batman, whoever, Batman, Bruce, kind of saying, I've got kind of let my kid grow up and get my kid go his own way at times, and I think any parent can relate to that,
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think that's what's been so interesting and rewarding about this show, but not just this show, but like me getting to watch this show with my kid, because we both get something out of it because of our ages, and I'm a parent, she's a kid, but we both love Batman, and I think it's a fun thing to share. But definitely in this episode, it is a fun, I don't want to call it fun, but it is interesting, like moral parental thing to learn about how to take transitions as a parent, and being cognizant of that, about being a parent to a little kid and then being a parent to a kid that's trying to grow up are different things. And it's like, appreciate like what you have, but don't let that stifle their growth or whatever, because it's not just their growth, it's your growth as a parent too. So to see all that kind of play out in a Batman kid show is pretty great.
I mean, my children are grown, but this kind of hit me because Jake has recently gotten engaged and is going to get married in a year. And I am struggling at times letting go of him. In my mind, he's a little boy, you know, he's still a little boy. And so I understand all that. It applies to me too, this series. But last but not least, Selena the cat comes around to Alicia and jumps in bed with her, and
well, she got tricked
asleep.
by the flame.
Yeah. Flame. Yeah. And Flame plays a role. You kind of like Flame. Flame is Claire's sidekick. It's literally a little floating flame of fire.
With eyeballs, and she can like wink and like blink around. Yeah. It's just they both work together to kind of lead her in there. Like both of them, it's like you both probably like each other, but you just need to find your way to it, and they kind of help facilitate that. So it was super cute.
So it is. So that makes me wonder, because I'm a pet lover, if there's more to Alicia and Selena the cat in the future. Don't tell me, but I know things are. You had mentioned before in the previous episode that there's some things that continue. Story threads and whatnot that continue on through each episode. So we'll see. Maybe I'll find out. It's just either way. I enjoyed that whole little thing as well. All right.
Yeah.
That's pretty much going to do it for this episode. I'll say this. I'll ask you this without giving us any spoilers. Since you've watched all the episodes, where does this one rank in terms of the entire season 1?
So I forgot how much I liked this episode. Looking back on it in the context of all of them, it is kind of one you can pick up and just kind of watch with. It's kind of like a bottle episode where you could put it almost anywhere in the season and it would still work. A lot of the story stuff starts to kind of ramp up later in the season, and you kind of need to watch it in order with the story, the overall season trajectory. But this one doesn't have a lot of that, which is cool, which is interesting, and it makes sense because we've just established things in episode 1. Episode 2 kind of gets you into a rhythm of like, these are the characters, here's how their lives kind of work, and then later on, like even in the next episodes, things kind of start to kind of ramp up. So I think it ranks pretty high, but I will say episode 3 is like probably top 2, if not my favorite episode of the season. It's got a joke in it that has overtaken my family. Like we use it in conversation now, to a hilarious degree. It's really good stuff in there.
I'm gonna. You don't have to answer this now. We'll wait till, because you definitely make sure you're on the finale, the final episode of season 1, but kind of start thinking about where Bat Fam will rank in terms of animated Batman TV series, and then we can discuss once we get through all the episodes.
It'll be interesting. Yeah,
and that may even lead to another show of ranking the animated Batman series.
That'd be a good original BOF episode.
Yeah, we can throw in K Crusader and this one now as well. All right. Anything you want to mention? Plug? It could be Batman on Film related or not. The floor is yours.
Yeah. I mean, I've been doing a good little amount of BOFing here lately. Yeah,
you have been
on this. Yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun to kind of jump back in and like talk about this stuff with my bros, with my pals, with my Bill Ramey. It's just yeah, just stick to this channel. Got Batmanimation. I've been on the original BOF podcast with Pete talking Batman Ninja, and I've been on the chapter by chapter with Javi talking about Batman Begins. So all those have been really fun things and extremely different like ways to explore Batman. I think that's kind of indicative of where BOF is right now as like a website of we're trying to find good, fun ways to continue talking about the best parts of this character we love, and all these different shows are kind of showing that. And I think that's like really fun, interesting thing to do, to kind of like at some point it just gets exhausting to me to talk about the dark part of the speculation of like, oh, what's going to happen with the character?
Yeah.
Zaslav
Yeah.
again. Well,
yeah.
Like sometimes it's fun to just talk about the work and the art and the character, and to get back to that, and having shows like this to do that, I think is really important, because it's sad to kind of lose sight of why we like the character in the first place when we're so caught up about what's next, when we don't enjoy what's here.
Yeah. I'm with you. In fact, I know there's like, the BOF tagline is, authoritative, definitive, the original, but I've been thinking it kind of an additional one I may start going with a little bit. It's kind of where the site is now, is like, Batman on Film, a celebration of the Dark Knight, which kind of what I want Batman on Film's legacy to be, is, not just the Batman movies, but we've celebrated Batman for almost 28 years here.
It's pretty incredible. I mean, it's pretty incredible to kind of like look back at that legacy and realize that it really is a website and a community that really tries to kind of bang the drum, not just for what we want in the future, but at this point, what we love right now. And I think that's been a really fun thing to kind of be part of and kind of show off with a lot of content that's been made these days just to be content and to get clicks and to get people fired up in not great ways. So, yeah.
It's Batman on Film is different because I'm not in it. No one involved is in it for fame or fortune at all. But it's because we love the character of Batman, and I don't have to write articles on a daily basis to keep the hits coming. I do what I want to do, and which is right now celebrate Batman. And only thing I'll plug on Batman on Film that I've got coming this week, the second storyline, the second story arc from Absolute Batman has ended, and I'll have that review of the Bane storyline, which we're talking a bit about Absolute Batman before we started this show. So I'll have that coming, and then we're getting into the next one, which is called The Joker, and I think there's gonna be some spirited debate once people they've already started, because all you've seen is what the
Joker
Absolute
Beast.
Joker looks like. Yeah. But there's a lot more to it than that. That's just not in that context. All right, so that's all I got for right now. For Ryan, I am Bill. Announcer Rachel will finish up. We will catch you next time.
Thanks for listening to Batmanimation, a BatmanOnFilm.com podcast revisiting the animated TV and film adventures of the Caped Crusader. Follow Batmanimation on Twitter @Batmanimation. Follow BOF on Twitter @TheBatmanOnFilm. Follow Jett on Twitter @BatmanOnFilm. For Jett and Team BOF, I'm Announcer Rachel. Batman on Film, authoritative, definitive, the original. Established in 1998.
Our place is filled from Batman fans. It's been the run song since '98 began. Roll with the news and all the reviews. It's the go-to place to take the Gotham blues. Got a cape and cowl on knees and high. That man on film, so glad it's alive. That man on film, you thrill us so. From Gotham City to the Batmobile roll. That man on film, ever strong. Feels like home where we all belong. Lights out with Shan, the latest flick. Nothing like the sight that gives us that kick. We keep it to bail, the icons we hail. Never miss a beat on the bat scene of trail. Turn the page, let the journey begin. That man been wearing that baby. Where we all been Batman on film. It through the soul. From Gotham City to the Batmobile roll. That man on film, living strong. Feels like home where we all belong. In a world full of shadows, you bring light to us all. Every post and follow. Answer the call. That man on film, you thrill us